First had the idea when I was in Dublin with my mom. We were going to an event a signing in Paris, and we have Irish roots, but we'd never been. So we went, we were like touring, and I was in Christchurch Cathedral, and there was a story about Lawrence O'Toole had his heart encased in metal and it was kept there, and someone had stolen it from the church, and there was no video footage. There was nothing. It just was gone. And then a year later, it was dropped on the church grounds, just like left there, like, here, you can have it back now. And I was just like, that's my heroine. That's definitely just like, she's stealing this. Like, obviously she didn't actually steal the heart, but in my head it was like that was the spark for the idea. And then I had a hero in another series who kind of showed up for like one chapter, and I'd always wanted to write him, but nothing fit. And I realized like she was stealing from his library that you had seen briefly. And that happened in like, I don't know, a couple months before. And then in January of 2020, I wrote the whole thing in like 1 month. It was like 90,000 words in 1 month. Kierce is the main character. I came up with her from that idea about the Lawrence O'Toole's heart. And from there, I kind of wanted to write where it felt like a modern setting, so it was familiar, but also it had these monsters, so it was different. And I kind of was inspired actually by World War I, where there was like, so instead of Franz Ferdinand, there was a vampire who was killed, and it started this long war. And then at the end of the war, there was a treaty, like the Treaty of Versailles, where monsters and humans were supposed to sort of come together. And so now, after this, New York was sort of decimated, like gangs have taken over, and there's now like vampire territories in the Upper East Side, and there's werewolf territories in Chelsea, but the humans have sort of like taken over the Lower East. And so I kind of wanted it to feel like the boroughs and all of the different neighborhoods inside Manhattan and Brooklyn and such were all the same, but with the monsters. And I think one of my favorite things about it was I got to write trolls are sort of controlling the subway. So you have to like pay the bridge troll to get inside. And I just thought that was really fun. Mermaids are inside the Central Park Lake. It was just really fun to think of all of the different fairy tales that we had, and like, how can I make them set in our world? Like, how would they be in a modern world with technology? And that was just really fun. For this book that I just released to Wren in the Holly Library, it was like 4.5 years to publication. And the 2 days before it went to print, I rewrote the 15,000 words of the ending from scratch. And someone had died, and now he stays alive because literally every single person was like, you can't kill this person. He's too important. Like, you need him for future books. It doesn't fit. And like, and it's so much better. The ending is so much better, but it was also one of those, like, in my head the whole time, this character had been gone, and now he's back. He's back forever. It has been all new, all again, especially because I'll show you. This one I got sprayed and stenciled edges. They gave me illustrated artwork where you see the monster coming over New York City. The case jacket is the library, where she's looking up in his library. You can see the pages are turning into birds because it's wrens. So I'd never been in hardcover in stores. I actually hadn't ever officially been in stores. I've been in stores, but not as broadly as this. So I got to see myself in Target. I was interviewed for Costco. So I was in the Costco magazine. I'm in all the Costcos. I'm in independent bookstores with this one. Airport. I saw myself in an airport. So that was like, and then Wednesday I hit the New York Times for the first time. So yeah, it was crazy. And then I went to Book Bonanza, which is Colleen Hoover's event, and I got to celebrate with 200 of my closest friends who were all there, so excited. And it was like this surreal moment, because I'd sort of had the numbers that I thought would have hit with the New York Times with my Avoiding series and also the Take Me series, and then they didn't hit. So it was like a bunch of people were like, I thought you'd already done that. And I was like, I didn't. I don't know. They just, it's a curated list, so you never know if it's actually going to happen. And this one hit. So it was like, Wren just released. My next book is the final book in the Royal Houses. It's 5 books. The last book is House of Embers. It should come out this fall. And then the second book in the Oak and Holly cycle is next. I have some other stuff that I'm working on, a second contemporary series that's sort of Cinderella meets War of the Roses from Tudor history, English history, but set in oil country, um, which I will either sell or self-publish next. And they're called The Kings.